Hey, house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 24 updates and spoilers. It's eviction day. I'm so excited. Our house guests of the day are Joey, Dolliver, Rower, and Stephanie and Mike. Thank you all so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. It's only $1 for a holla. Woo! Welcome. And I also want to thank all of our super chatters from yesterday because that's another fantastic way to support our channel. So Alex Garza, Lisa, Jefferson Tucker, Darby C, Sean Davis, Jody Cortez, Don MH302, Team Monkey or Monk, and Chris F. Thank you all so much for your super chats. Yay! And Alex Garza's back again. Thank you for the super chat. Oh my goodness. Okay. We have things to discuss. When we left off yesterday, Terrence and Amira are up on the block. The leftovers have the votes locked in to evict Amira. And just to remind you, the leftovers are Taylor, Brittany, Michael, Turner, Monte, Joseph, and Kyle. Oh my goodness. Okay, so they're doing a great job of keeping their alliance hidden, and they want to keep it that way. So ideally, they would love to see a split vote tonight as close as possible, right? 6-5, because that would really cause as much confusion and chaos as possible. They feel like if the vote is 6-5, they could try and pin this vote flip on Nicole and Daniel. That way, if somebody outside of the Leftovers Alliance wins HOH, maybe they'll want to target Nicole and Daniel instead of somebody from the Leftovers. And I think that is a likely possibility with the way that things have been going. And it all works out perfectly because Nicole cannot shut up about how torn she is over this vote. The song Torn keeps popping in my head by Natalie Imbruglia. Is that how you say it? Imbruglia? Anyway. Yeah, Nicole will not shut up about how torn she is about this vote. So she's like, this is so hard for me. My two best friends are up on the block. Sorry, Daniel. I guess you suck. But Amira is so confident that she has the votes. It's absolutely wild. Like, she's not even campaigning. She's just sitting there, like, counting off her votes that she doesn't have. Meanwhile, poor Terrence is out on the campaign trail, and the leftovers have discussed that they don't really want to tell him ahead of time that he's staying because they don't want to risk that information getting out. So, like, he's going out there talking to everybody, not realizing he already has this on lock. So Terrence was making the rounds yesterday, and the leftovers did drop some hints to him throughout the day and evening. So Terrence checked in with Taylor in the golf bedroom at one point, and Terrence is asking, like, what kind of vibe are you getting from everybody else? Excuse me. And Taylor says, well, it would appear that Amira is quite confident. But she tells Terrence, you don't have anything to worry about. She says, I wish I could give you a definitive yes or no, but she can't. She tells him, breathe easy, play your role, as in, like, be nervous. But she's basically telling him, like, you're gonna be okay. So Terrence says, we have to fight, you know, even after this, because I feel like me, you, Brittany, Turner, we're all at the bottom. Not anymore. And Taylor says, yeah, we've been used for other people's games, and I'm tired of it. So Terrence agrees with that, and he says, Turner really had the courage to change the whole game this week. He did not have to do that. He could have just, like, put Taylor up on the block and got rid of her. But no, he didn't do that. So Terrence is hoping that they can continue to play this way and make something happen moving forward. Keep that courage throughout the game. So then Terrence checks in with Turner in the HOH room. And Turner shares what he's been telling everybody when they ask him for his opinion on this week's vote. So Turner says, with all due respect, he's been telling people, look, we have a cool ass dude on the block, meaning Terrence, and we have the winner of the game, or somebody that can win this game on the block. That's Amira. So he's like to Terrence, like, no offense. And Terrence is like, it's okay. I get it. But Turner's been telling people, like, you know who I would be voting for. unless you want second place. You know, why are you going to keep Amira around when she's going to be way harder to beat? So Terrence is telling Turner, like, even though you put me up this week, I want to protect you and insulate you moving forward. If I'm here, I'm going to be gunning for that HOH. So Turner tells Terrence, you will still be here. Ooh. And Terrence says, I would not put you up on the block. So Turner lets Terrence know, you're only nominated right now because of your festy bestie. You know, if you weren't festy besties with Amira, you wouldn't be sitting up there. And Turner says he's pretty darn confident that he knows how these votes are going to shake out. So not to worry, Terrence. So a little later, Daniel and Michael are chatting in the gym. And I'm sorry, I can't stop yawning once I start. I think the fan is not helping. But Daniel and Michael are chatting in the gym. And Daniel says, I love Terrence and Amira. I'm cool with both of them. It's just like Nicole. And Daniel says, I want to make a decision tonight. You know, I need to figure out what I'm doing here. And I need to let Terrence and Amira know. He says, I feel like they deserve the respect of knowing. So Michael agrees, like, yeah, it's really tough this week. It's tough to figure this one out. Michael knows exactly what he's doing. So Daniel asks Michael, how do you feel about the vote? And Michael is acting his ass off. Michael says he's conflicted. He's like, I have such a soft spot for Terrence since we were both in the same position week 1, aka both nominated by Daniel. Burn. But Michael says, I think Amira is the bigger threat overall. But he's also bringing up the point, is it smart to take out all of the big threats so early in the game? Because then eventually you're going to become the biggest threat and everyone's going to be looking at you. Michael, you better work. So again, we know that Michael is voting Amira out, but he's acting in front of Daniel like he doesn't know what he's going to do. It's such a hard decision. So Daniel's like, yeah, that's the struggle. So Michael says, I still need to talk to Amira and hear her campaign because he's talked to Terrence, but he hasn't really heard from Amira yet. And that's because Amira is not really campaigning. She's that confident. She thinks she's got these votes locked up. So later, Nicole and Daniel check in with each other in the Jetsons' bedroom. And Nicole says, from what I've gathered, Terrence is going to be going. So Daniel says it really sucks either way, you know, to lose either of them. And he mentions he told Terrence that he would let him know what's up later tonight. So Nicole says, yeah, I plan to do the same. So Daniel asks, do you think it's a bad move if I give Terrence a sympathy vote this week? Like, is everyone going to hate me for that? Nicole says, no, you did your due diligence. You know, we made sure that Amira has enough votes to stay, so it's going to be fine. Okay, let's check in with Joseph, the 25-year-old. Joseph is really playing his role here. He is misdirecting big time while talking to Jasmine in the storage room. So they're talking about their targets moving forward. And Joe says he is targeting Taylor and he is targeting Turner. And he says he would prefer to take out Taylor first because he feels like she is a more immediate threat to his game, because he knows that Taylor is targeting Monte. And Monte is Joseph's bestie. So obviously if Monte goes up on the block, Joseph would have to go up on the block. Okay, he's lying. Like, Taylor is not actually targeting Monte, but that is the narrative that they are keeping up to cover their alliance. Also, Joe is not targeting Taylor or Turner. But anyway, as far as Turner goes, Joe says nobody knows how Turner is moving in this house. You know, he's a freaking wild card. So Jasmine agrees with that. Again, Joe is not actually targeting Taylor or Turner. Just so you all remember. So Joe says the problem here is if I go for Turner, you're Turner's festy bestie. So that means that you would have to go up on the block next to him. So Joe is asking, like, would you be okay going up on the block? And Jasmine's like, I mean, I wouldn't really have much of a choice. We didn't know that we were going to have to be dealing with this besties twist. So Jasmine says, I don't want to win the next HOH competition because I don't want Turner to be safe for the week. She would like to see Turner go. She says, however, she doesn't want to be on slop. And I'm pretty sure, we're going through the rotation. It's coming up to her turn to be on slop if everybody continues to volunteer and not look like an a-hole. So she's like, I just need one more week for my foot to heal, and then I can be on slop after that. Like, I'm not trying to avoid it, but I just, need another week to heal. Sure. So she's asking Joe, do you think that I would have the votes to stay if I go up on the block next to Turner? And Joe's like, oh yeah, I would only put you up on the block if I had it guaranteed, confirmed that Turner would be going. I want to make sure that you're safe before you'd be going up there. No, Jasmine would be the target in that scenario. But Jasmine says, I'm not going to lie. I want Turner out. I don't mind going up as long as I know I have the votes locked in. Okay. So then Jasmine ends up bringing up again that she does not want to go on slop next week. So Joe is like, I get it. He says he'll volunteer to be a have-not in her place. He's too nice. But anyway, for this vote, Joe is saying he wants Amira to stay because he wants to work with her. He's lying. Okay. So later, Nicole chats with Michael in the have-not room. And Nicole says, all right, I've decided I am voting to keep Amira. Congratulations. But she says that she's pissed because she's talking to everybody, checking in with them, and so many people are giving her the runaround about their votes, saying that they're 50-50, they don't know what they're going to do. So Nicole says, this is the worst case scenario for me. Aside from you and Daniel, Amira and Terrence are the other two people that I'm closest to in this house. So Nicole is asking Michael for his thoughts, and Michael says, well, I'm noticing that Amira seems very calm. She hasn't been doing any one-on-ones. That's called being cocky AF. So Michael also brings up he feels kind of weird that Pose Pack hasn't really been checking in with each other this week. What's going on with that? So that being said, Michael says he will vote to keep Amira. However, he feels like it would be better for him if Terrence stays because his fear is once Terrence leaves, that's going to be one less pawn in the game. So Michael is worried that he's going to keep being used as a pawn. And Nicole's like, no, you're not going up anymore. I'm tired of that. So Nicole says her piece about Pose Pack. She says, I have all of the integrity in the world. And then she says she trusts Michael and Amira, but she does not trust Monte and Kyle right now. She feels like they're being kind of sketchy. Also, she says Alyssa has a really big mouth. She has slipped up multiple times already. We saw what happened earlier this week when Alyssa spilled something in front of Indy about Indy. Also, Nicole is saying that Alyssa told Terrence that she's going to miss him. Yikes. So Nicole says we can't trust Alyssa with any information. So then Nicole is saying, if the Alliance is going to, vote out Amira, I want to know so that I'm on the right side of the vote here. Okay, so eventually Kyle joins them, and Nicole continues talking about the votes, and she's telling them, look, I want to be able to tell Terrence that he doesn't have the votes. I need to talk to him tonight. I need to let him know. So Nicole, like Amira now, is feeling very confident about these votes for Amira to stay, and she's telling the guys, if you want to throw Terrence some sympathy votes, I feel like you are okay to do that. We'll still have enough votes to keep Amira. And Nicole's even saying that she wants to throw Terrence a sympathy vote. These sympathy votes are really adding up here. So Nicole was also talking about how she wants Taylor to be the target next week. Why are you like this? Have you learned nothing from this week? We'll see if she's still saying that after the blind side tonight. All right, so Then Nicole starts going around to everyone, being extra, and saying that she should be the one to tell Terrence that he's going. She's like insisting on being the person that tells him that. She's like, I'm his number one. And she's also telling people, I want to give him a sympathy vote if we can make that happen. I mean, you can go ahead and do that. He's gonna stay anyway. Okay, so Nicole and Terrence are in the HOH room, and as this conversation was happening last night, I was like, I literally said to my mom, I can't believe this is real. So Nicole is crying, and she tells Terrence, I just love you so much. So she hasn't even said, like, what this is about yet, but Terrence knows. So it's so dramatic and over the top. So Terrence says, it's okay. You know, this is going to further you in the game. Do what you got to do. He's handling it very calmly, very casually. It's almost like he is not worried. It's almost like other people have been telling him, like, look, there's other stuff going on. You don't have to worry here. So Nicole says, it's not okay. I expected you to be here the entire time. So Terrence is like, no, like, I felt it all throughout the day. This was just too hard of a battle for me. You know, Amira is a great player. So Nicole says, Daniel and I are devastated, obviously. And she says, everybody in this house knows that I was your number one. It's just giving off real, I'm your best friend, but you're not my best friend energy. And it's very gross. But Nicole says she just wishes that Turner would have made sure he had the numbers to get rid of Amira if that was actually his target, you know, if that's actually what he wanted to do. Well, about that, you're going to be in for a surprise. So then Nicole's crying more about how Terrence is her soulmate in the game, and he's one of her best friends, blah, blah, blah. It feels like fake. And then it gets even crazier because Nicole starts spilling secrets. So, you know, she's doing this because Terrence is leaving. He's not leaving. So Nicole is like, all right, I have to share something with you. From the ages of 23 to 33, I was a police officer, a social media police officer mogul. So yeah, she's like, I was a cop for 10 years. No one cares. Nobody cares. It's not like you're Derek Levasseur and you're like a secret undercover detective. Like, I don't think anybody's questioning if you're on his level. So anyway, she tells Terrence about that. Then she also reveals that she is secretly hoping that Taylor will win HOH and take a shot at Monte. Ooh, that's some information to hold on to. Also, Nicole spilled that Amira has told her that she is Amira's number one, but Nicole says she's not sure if Amira is also saying the same thing to Jasmine. But I mean, she's making it pretty obvious here that she is super tight with Amira. She also, of course, talked about Daniel. So she's giving a lot of information here to Terrence, thinking that he's leaving, and he's not. Okay, so eventually Turner comes in, and Nicole's like, oh, perfect. I wanted to talk to you. So Nicole says to Turner, consensus of the house is Terrence is probably going home. And yeah, it's not going to go in the favor of you, Turner. So she says, I'm just giving you a heads up. So Turner's like, that's unfortunate to hear. And it was like a total Willy Wonka moment of like, no, stop, don't. So Turner's just like, I don't know what to say. I think Turner was just trying not to like die of laughter at that point, because he knows that Terrence is staying. So they chat a little bit more. Eventually Nicole leaves and Turner and Terrence are all alone. And Turner tells Terrence, I'm about to tell you something, but you can't tell anybody, not even Nicole. So Terrence is like, yeah, I'm not going to tell anybody. Don't worry. So before Turner has his big reveal here, can you imagine if Turner was just like, so I own a thrift shop and an art studio? No. Terrence says that Michael, Brittany, and Taylor all had great conversations with him. You know, I've discussed working together, moving forward. So that's making him feel good. He's getting good vibes from them. But he says, on the other hand, Nicole and Daniel have been telling him basically like, no one wants to keep him here. No one is voting to save you this week. So he's getting like these conflicting stories, and Nicole and Daniel are making him feel like crap. So Turner lets Terrence know, you're going to be here tomorrow. I am the HOH. I know how the votes lie this week. And he says, I was trying not to laugh when Nicole was in here talking her talk. So Terrence is letting Turner know, yeah, Nicole really showed her cards with this conversation. I mean, first of all, she said she was voting me out, but also like she revealed that she's got a tight 3 with Amira and Daniel. So Terrence has all this info now on Nicole and her game. So then word travels fast around the house about Nicole's conversation with Terrence, because Terrence was telling people. So he was basically just telling everybody, like, Nicole told me that I'm leaving and that I don't have the votes, blah, blah, blah. So Jasmine, Alyssa, and Amira are all pissed at Nicole. Nicole is making this about her. She is, like, inserting herself here. And they all feel like Nicole is doing too much, because Nicole tried to make it look like she wanted to keep Terrence this week, but she just couldn't make it happen because the rest of the house was voting him out. So she's trying to save face with Terrence and make everybody else look like the bad guy here. Also, they're not happy that Nicole said this in front of Turner to make it look like she wanted to follow through with Turner's plan of targeting Amira this week. But again, couldn't make it happen because of the rest of the house. So this is hilarious. On a related note, this same group is not happy with Nicole and Daniel because they're both trying to give Terrence sympathy votes this week. So they're like, we can't trust these two, and they want them out of there. So now it looks like almost everyone will be targeting Nicole and Daniel next week except for Nicole and Daniel, which is just wild. You know, the leftovers are like, woo! That's exactly what they want. So in other news from last night, the have-nots got to eat at midnight. Yay! No more of Indy being a jerk while she's on slop. Okay, so today, the leftovers are getting ready for a wild night. It's going to be crazy. They are still on track to blindside Amira. And Joseph and Kyle have come up with this plan to try and not only cause chaos before the vote, but also to try and like give themselves a reason for why this vote is flipping and Amira is going. So the plan that they came up with, Taylor is supposed to tell Terrence that she overheard a conversation between Kyle and Amira while they were talking in the storage room, and they were talking about an alliance called Pose Pack. So she's also supposed to tell Terrence, like, it sounded like half of the house is in this alliance. You know, Amira's got all these people working with her, but you need to try and get votes from the half that is not in this alliance. So she is supposed to name off a few people like Joseph, Daniel, Jasmine, Indy. Like, they're not in the alliance, so you should talk to them about it. So they figure Terrence is going to tell everybody this information as he's trying to campaign at the last minute, and it will spread all around the house, cause chaos, and then people could be like, oh, well, I flipped my vote because, you know, people were freaked out by the alliance, and then I had to go with the house on this vote. So, okay, upon hearing this plan, Taylor was not like super thrilled about it. She was talking to Brittany about it. And she was like, why can't like Kyle or somebody do this? Like, why do I have to be the one to tell Terrence? You know, what if this comes back on me? But if you look at it, it wouldn't really make sense for Kyle to spread that information because he's in the Pose Pack, or used to be in the Pose Pack Alliance. But I could also understand why she's not like super jazzed about being the one to set off this chain of events. But Brittany's encouraging her, like, no, it's okay. You know, if you do this, that's really going to go far with everybody in the alliance. They're going to see how committed you are, and it's only going to bring us closer and make them want to, you know, work for you more. Especially if she ends up on the block against Nicole. So, okay, then the feeds went down. for a little while they were on HOH lockdown. Production's doing their rehearsal for the live show, whatever. So when the feeds come back, Kyle, Monte, and Joseph are talking about their plans for next week. And we didn't get to hear all of this conversation, but we did hear Kyle really campaigning hard for Alyssa to be next week's target. We've seen them talk a lot this week about wanting either Daniel or Nicole out next, but Kyle has been pushing more and more that he wants Alyssa out. And he's giving the reason that Alyssa and Indy are a safe bet to go up on the block because obviously none of the leftovers are in that duo. So he just feels like it's like totally risk-free. We can get rid of one of them. Then we'll still have like even more numbers on our side. But I have to wonder if it's also just because Kyle has had enough of Alyssa. He has told her multiple times now that he does not want to pursue a showmance with her in this house. Come on in.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Did he say don't touch my pee-pee?
Yeah, so he doesn't want to pursue a showmance with her. Oh, Minnie's here too.
Yes.
And
we're all here.
yeah, he said maybe we can make something happen in the jury house or like after the season's over. But she just like keeps going, and now it's getting like really inappropriate. She like licked his arm. Then I saw this one video where she like traced her finger down his like torso and stopped like around
the pee-pee,
the penile region. So that's like really gross and not cool. And I feel like if a man did that to a woman,
would not be cool.
That would not fly.
No.
So I really hope that the diary room is going to give her a talking to because that's not okay. But I could see Kyle wanting to like get rid of her before jury starts because I don't think he's into her. I don't think he wants that anymore. It's too much.
He's a nice boy. He doesn't want to lead her on.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just getting like really gross now and weird, and like this needs to be stopped before it gets more serious. But he is pushing hard for Alyssa to be the next target. Okay. So anyway, we also saw when the feeds came back, the plan is in action. Taylor was talking to Terrence, and she followed through on what Joseph and Kyle were wanting her to say. I heard Kyle and Amira talking in the storage room about some alliance that they were in called Pose Pack. And she was telling Terrence, like, maybe you can use this to try and get the votes to stay.
I laughed my ass off when Terrence was like, Pose Pack? What's that?
Yeah, this conversation was happening like right before we started getting ready for the spoiler, like going over notes.
And she was like, Paloma? And he was like, oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah. So I don't know. Is Terrence going to run with this? We'll see what happens. I don't know. Guys, the penile region, I was making a joke. Like I'm talking about the crotch. Yeah, so we'll see if that plan happens or not. I don't know if Terrence is going to run with that or if that's going to spread or if it's going to cause chaos. We'll see. The feeds are probably going to only be on for like another half hour or so before they go down for to get ready for the episode. But tonight, Amira will be leaving unless something insane happens. The vote, I don't know exactly what the vote's going to be. For a while, it was looking like 6-5. Then maybe because of sympathy votes like 7-4 or 8-3. Now, who freaking knows? If this plan does take off and things get crazy, it could end up being unanimous.
How many butter beans to how many penile regions?
So we don't know what's going to happen with that. Also, we're going to find out tonight. We're going to find out tonight what happens to the remaining Festy Bestie after their partner
I hope
is
they
evicted.
get a power.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but hopefully Terrence will get something good. So we'll find out. But
like safety for the rest of the twist, maybe?
I don't know. Can you imagine if it was like, how they warned them the other day, you won't have safety for next week, but they were like, you'll have safety till jury. That'd be wild.
Yes.
I don't know that I see them doing that, but it would be crazy.
Hey, expect the unexpected. That's what Kyle
Lovey.
said.
Yes. So, I think they are still keeping it a blindside on Amira, but, the chaos with the votes, who knows what's going to happen. Maybe she'll get worried. I don't know if she finds out about it. So, we'll see what happens. But, yes, Amira is going to be leaving.
I don't think they're going to tell her.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to tell her straight up, but anyway, she might get freaked out by the chaos. So, let me know in the comments or in the chat who you're rooting for in the next HOH competition. Okay.
Who are you rooting for?
So I'd love to see Taylor in power. I don't want
think
Nicole
she's
to
ready.
be safe.
I don't think she's ready to be in power.
I don't know. The Festy Besties thing is something you need to pay attention to, right? Because if Taylor's safe, that means Nicole's safe.
Exactly.
If Kyle is safe, then that means Daniel's safe. So I guess maybe like Monte or Joseph would be cool, or like Brittany, Michael.
Brittany and Michael.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them win HOH.
I definitely want to see somebody from within the leftovers safe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, winning HOH.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what happens, but let me know what you all think. And I want to thank all of our super chatters because you guys are amazing. Alex Garza, thank you so much, as always. Andres Lombaria, thank you so much. And Andres says, oh my God, this BB episode will be great. I know.
It's gonna be lit.
We're going to see all the fallout after the POV ceremony.
Delicious.
The actual POV ceremony. Yeah, we need to see that speech that everyone's been talking about. It's going to be wild. Gabe L, thank you so much. Gabe said, who's ready for some blindside butter beans?
Oh.
I am. Lala, thank you so much for the super chat. Shane Wright, thank you so much for the super chat. Sean Davis, thank you so much. And Sean says, broke down Elvis would have been done if I was in there. I couldn't sit there and let a man attack a woman. Nicole makes it known that she can take care of herself. Got my lays ready for tonight.
Do you think it was the lays?
With the lays? That was iconic. Yes. Seriously, though, it's so disgusting the way that Daniel talked to Taylor in that confrontation. So messed up.
I might cut his hair off when he's sleeping.
When you're in the Bad Girls Club?
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. Alexandra Alberts, thank you so much for the super chat. And Alexandra says, happy Blindside Butterbeans Day, everyone.
Woo!
K-Diggs too, thank you so much. And they said, the show should be awesome tonight, but will we see Alyssa harassing Kyle? I know, right? Are they going to address that at all? I don't know. Maybe they'll show him, like, I don't know, like, are they even going to have time for that tonight? They might have to save that for another night. I don't know. It's going to be a tight schedule with everything they have to show. Shane Wright, thank you so much for your super chat. And he asks, can Nicole go next week? I'd love that. I'd love to see Daniel or Nicole go next week.
You know what I would love to see? Broke down Elvis put a toner on that bleach strips.
Yeah.
Put a toner on it.
Lisa, thank you so much for the super chat. And Lisa says, well, this season definitely picked up this week. Can't wait to see their faces tonight at eviction. I know, right?
God.
Okay. It's going to be absolutely wild. I wish, again, I mentioned it yesterday, I wish we had like some sort of Brady Bunch screen where we could see like everybody's faces all at the same time. Yes. Debbie Prishgoda, thank you so much for the super chat. And Debbie says, why did I like Nicole? But I did. I know, right? It's so hard to judge them right at the beginning. Make me question my judgment of characters. Thanks so much for the great updates. Help me know who to root for. Lol. I know. Yeah, those first impressions, right? A lot of times they're wrong. We've been there many times before. Samuel Jackson, thank you so much for the super chat. Darren McDowell, thank you so much for the super chat. And Dawn MH302, thank you as always. You're all wonderful. All right, we gotta go. We got a vegan video to finish up. Here. Yeah, so we gotta take care of some things before tonight's episode, and it's gonna be crazy. So I hope everybody's ready. We'll see you later, and until next time, much love. Bye, everybody.